What's up, Hobby Maniacs? Rob Bear here today with a look at the new White Dwarf. This is issue 115, and the Space Marines are back. It's 40K time, folks, y'all. This is amazing. Like, talk about jumping right back in, both feet first, with none other than, of course, the Space Marines. And it's kind of like a bittersweet kind of thing, because it's like its own little like kind of flashback, because this guy was in pewter form the very first Space Marine they put out back in 1986 as like a mail order kind of special, and obviously literally 30 years later, or I guess, yeah, 30 years later, exactly to the year, you know, it's come so far. Like, it's just kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. And I mean, we're only 2 years away from a Rogue Trader, the 30th anniversary of the Rogue Trader first rule set, the RPG style rule set, and of course all the great miniatures that started that up, the RTB01, and you know, that's the very first Space Marine sprue, which we did a 40K flashback on here recently on the channel, so make sure you check that one out. So this issue is really great. I mean, it's got a ton of stuff in here. Now, it's all about the Space Marine. So there's a ton of features in here. You got the new releases. You got a paint splatter basically showing you how to just generally paint a squad of Space Marines. Then it goes into basically all sorts of history on the Space Marines. It's almost like its own mini Index Astartes, where it goes over all the fluff and the lore and things like that. And then it gets into 30 years, like going over all the miniatures, like the Land Raider, the first Rhinos, all that stuff, and just kind of comparing and contrasting it, which is also what Codex Apocrypha is going to be, which is a release next week as well. So there's tons of releases. Let's hit them all real quick. Let's just run them down. So here's the Imperial Space Marine 2016. This is the I don't want to say limited edition, it's the collector's edition that's going to be at all the stores coming, you know, here in a short while on the 16th. Now, supposedly they're only going to be available over the weekend, and most independent stockists are only going to get 5 of these things. Now, I'm hearing that GW stores will have quite a bit more, but you can also order it online, and if you spend $165, you can also get it for free online, depending on, you know, your currency in your area and things like that. So it also comes with a data sheet that we're not really sure what the actual rules are. But we're also hearing that there's going to be Calth rules for the Space Marines that came out in the Betrayal at Calth box set, those Mark IV Marines, and the new Angels of Death supplement, which is coming out soon as well. Now, let's talk about these reboxings here. Like, this was like groundbreaking shit on Monday when all this stuff broke. Like, it was just like, oh my god, new releases, and I start looking, and I am literally in the car, coming back from Adepticon, typing feverishly on my laptop, you know, tethering to my phone. Like, I knew it was going to be a crazy Monday. I had no idea it was going to be Space Marines, and all this stuff started showing up, you know, the pictures and everything, and I'm just like, literally driving back from Chicago, posting all this stuff up on Spiky Bits. Like, it, you know, it was nuts. Like, I did not expect that. And I'm looking at them, and, you know, sometimes I don't have a chance to digest everything, and I'm just basically putting it out as quick as I see it, because, you know, it's something that needs to be talked about. Sometimes I don't have time to digest it, but after, you know, the initial shock wore off, and I was able to start looking at these things, I'm like, man, these are such a good deal. Now, the Space Marine Company Command was, I think, normally around $40, and now it's $50. But you get the Solok Captain in there, which is basically obviously worth more than $10, even if it is a clan pack. I mean, I feel like $10 is a fair price for that guy. The same with the Space Marine Terminator Command. Now you get to Terminator Sergeant, which was previously only available in that one super huge box set that I think it was the Strike Force Ultra. And then you could only get him in the Start Collecting set, which was $85. So now we're down to a $60 price point. So he's pretty attainable, I feel like. He's a dope model, and I can't wait to see more of these guys on the tabletop. Conversely, over here, we've got the new Cultist box, which is 21 miniatures, so it's a squad of 20 Cultists. Then you got the Aspiring Champion separate clan pack sprue from the Dark Vengeance box, which only raised the price up, let's see. It is, what do we got here? $48 US. So that's, I don't know if that one's quite a video. Oh, I guess it is, because it was 5 Cultists. That's what it was. So it was 5 Cultists for $15. So now you've got 20 Cultists That should be 60 plus this guy. Yeah, that is actually a pretty good deal if you start thinking about it. When you're getting both sides of the Dark Vengeance Cultist plus this guy, yeah, I could see that. That's a good deal. And then this obviously here is a good deal too. These used to be 50. Now they include the not the clan pack sorcerer, the multi-part sorcerer, and also Chaos Lord. So that was like a $25 kit in and of itself. Now it's basically marked up $10. So good on GW. We don't always get the discounts we want, but sometimes they find a way to kind of throw us a bone with some repackaging. And we saw that over, Black Friday, when we saw a lot of these, deals out there. So it's really neat to see. Space Marine Heroes is a box of the previously unavailable singly Chaplain, plus the Librarian, plus the Captain. And again, for a price point of only $50, you can get all three of these guys, whereas these were all, that was $30, that was $20, and this guy was only available with the, Razorback and Command Squad for, I want to say it was like $80. So $50 seems like a lot, but when you start breaking it down, you're like, it's actually not that bad, right? So I'm kind of digging it. I really think that Games Workshop kind of is feeling us on these things, and it's nice to see this old box set right here, this kind of old format, and that's actually something I was saying a couple podcasts ago about what they could do with Deathwatch. Like, they could take all those guys, they could put them in their own separate box, pay for the tooling, even if they wanted to do it. And this might be a test bed. Like, I could see a box of 5 to 8, call them Heroes of the Imperium, after the old box back in the day that had like Logan Grimnar and Dante and Mephiston and all those guys back in the day. And I think it was only like $45, right? And what they could do is, if they make their money off that box, and then they'd be able to go back and break down the sprues and sell them individually for even more. It's just a way for Games Workshop to sell us the same stuff over and over again, but yet we keep buying it, so whose fault is that? I feel like, I want to say Games Workshop kind of knows what we want, and we just kind of like buy it. And a lot of people are like, I wouldn't pay $30 for that limited edition Space Marine, or that collector's edition Space Marine. No, at face value, it's probably not worth $30. But the fact that it's nostalgic, it is a recast of something that was made 30 years ago, and it's only available for this weekend, kind of makes it, air quotes, worth it in that regard. And that's what Games Workshop knows, and that's why they price their stuff accordingly, you know what I mean? Then we got the Angels of Death supplement, which looks to be super exciting. We got new psychic powers coming in. It looks like they're reprinting a lot of formations. It's a 128-page tome. It's soft cover, so the same deal with the other Chaos supplements. That we don't have to spend, because when they came out, they're $50 hardback. I didn't think it was worth it. Now they're $33 soft cover, and I feel like it's worth it. So they're kind of giving us these codex releases, the old soft cover style codex release, but they're also giving us content, like it's collecting content. So now what they can do with this is they can take this Angels of Death book, right, with all the supplements. They can take all the supplements out of Monka, out of Callion. Then they can be like, oh, boom, here's Space Marine Codex, put it all together, and then here's Space Marine Codex 2nd edition, boom, and drop it on everybody, a year from now. They don't have to keep advancing the actual base game rules, I feel like. I feel like they just have to keep putting out supplements, and when you can sell us the same content 3 times over and we keep buying it, why would they keep making new rule sets? Like, it's kind of genius on their part. We saw it work with Forge Rule. You got Imperial Armor XYZ, then you got Imperial Armor XYZ 2nd edition, and we keep buying it. So it's like whose fault is it? Like, how mad can you get, really, when we're buying it, And this is actually kind of a neat way, to be quite honest, for us to get those supplements and those formations, that weren't available. Like, you had to buy a limited edition box set, or this bundle, or this over here, or this over here, or it came in this book. Now you get one solid place for them all to come in, right? And then eventually they can kind of collect them all into their own book and kind of advance the codexes and keep selling it to us, and we keep getting all of the content in one place. So I feel like it's a win-win, but I also feel like, if you're like, hey, that's stupid, that's a money grab. Imagine you're a Tyranid player, and you're trying to get started playing Tyranids. How many different books do you have to buy to play Tyranids? You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, yeah, it's a money grab, but B, it's also kind of a convenience, because why would you start playing Tyranids if you literally have to buy $200 in damn rule books just to do it? You know what I mean? So I kind of feel both sides here. The Index Astartes, or the Codex Apocrypha, is kind of a reprint idea-wise, but it's also got a lot of the old original content. This Mantis Warrior motif was actually in the old Rogue Trader rulebook way back in the day. Then we got Black Legion and Crimson Slaughter supplement reprints. We've already seen the Black Legion has formations in there. It looks like a lot of the Warlord traits in there. War gear are exactly the same. I'm not exactly sure about Crimson Slaughter yet. Maybe there's a Decurion on there. Maybe there isn't. Too early to say. Psychic Power card sets. 28 new sets. Airbrush paint set coming out with a whole bunch of different colors. And honestly, for the price point of, what was it, $75, these things are like $5 each. So that doesn't seem like a bad deal to me if you're trying to pick it up and your store isn't in that immediate area that Games Workshop shipped out the air colors to, which was pretty much just like states around Tennessee. So if you're not around Tennessee, you probably have to mail order this stuff through your store, which isn't quite as reliable as you would like, I imagine. So that being said, I feel like this is a good deal to kind of try them out, pick them up, see if you like it, and move forward. And then there's also a new battle book as well. For Forge World, it looks like the Thousand Suns are going to be the new release this week. Now, sometimes we see it and they come out the same week, and sometimes we don't. But hey, I would be very surprised if these didn't come out, because they've been kind of foreshadowing them both on the Forge World Bulletin and now in the White Dwarf for several weeks now. Paint Splatter article looks really good. Some techniques for working on Ultramarines there. And then it just kind of gets into showcasing all the power armor through the ages, you know, basically each one, and breaking it down, stuff that we've seen in past publications, but it's kind of cool to see it again. And then it gets into the tanks themselves, the old Mark 1 Rhinos, you know, up to the Mark 3 or Mark 2C right here, and then the Land Raiders, of course. And then it just kind of gets into some funsy stuff, you know, talking about different things like the Indominus pattern, Terminator armor of the Saturnine pattern of armor. And then it just gets into, hey, buy some Space Marines. You know, here's that heavy metal showcase that we all love and know and love. Seeing this stuff and imagining it in our heads and going out there and hobbying it and buying it. So that's it for this one. There's no teaser, no idea what's coming out next week. But you know what? After this much excitement in 1 week, I kind of want a week off already. You know what I mean? Like, it has been an intense week, and I cannot wait to get all these products and all these books in my hot little hands in order to review them for you and show you, you know, if they're worth picking up or not. But either way, we love doing it here. So thanks for watching this video, y'all.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.